Happy New Year, folks! What a way to start off the new year. Everyone's insane. Anyway. Welcome back to my aunt's. Wait, what was that?
Oh God.
Okay, backtrack, rewind, delete that. Hello. Welcome back to my aunt's.
Hey, welcome back. Long time no see. Well, actually, never seen.
Never seen.
It's an audio thing.
It is. Speaking of that, though, I want to see if we can make some kind of video like before. I can't do. What's it called? The transcript or anything. That would take so freaking long. But if you want to send me a crap ton of pictures that you are willing to put on the internet, I can do probably like a little quick video of like our pictures swapping back and forth when we're speaking. You know what I mean?
Ooh, interesting.
Just to have something to put out there because we have nothing on YouTube, folks. We always tell you.
Have you ever seen though when people? I think it's the funniest thing, but it's also so stupid when people like. It's a video of the screen and they have like a cartoon, but they're manually making the mouth move with the mouse. Have you ever seen something like that? And it's like a voiceover of like a funny clip, and they have drawn a cartoon, but because the mouth is moving or something is moving, they're just dragging it around with the mouse, and it looks really funny. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not in the slightest.
Okay.
We're going to have to dive into that afterwards, because what?
Oh, yeah. But it's just like a meme thing on, like, TikTok. It's kind of an old thing, but I was thinking if we want to do a clip, we could use our logo thing and, like, move the mouths in a really stupid way. I could see us doing that.
Okay.
I'll have to show you one, if I can find one. How did we get here?
I don't know. What was I thinking? Oh, have you seen those videos of, like, old-time photos, like portraits and everything, and they just move the mouth?
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
I love that.
Like a jib-jab. I'm getting more mail.
Very popular today. Don't mind me. I'm just laughing at the fact that Mary Grace fell down the stairs. Oh my God, that's awful. So I started listening to Shits and Gigs, another podcast, because they were recently on The Basement Yard.
Ooh.
And I just really liked their voices, and so I was like, let's dive into that. So I went over to their page, and I started listening to theirs. I really love their voices. They're British, English, something, I don't know, whatever. But really thick accents, and their voices are very pleasing to listen to. Not a huge fan of their content.
Interesting.
But I really just like listening to them. It's like background noise to them. But I was listening, and they did mention the fact that, they got started with a podcast. It's something they really love doing. And most people who start podcasts, it tapers off pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it only, like, max lasts, like, 5 months.
Wow.
Max, before people usually end up quitting or it doesn't go any. And I'm like, we've surpassed that.
Yeah.
We're in it for the long haul, folks. At least I am.
I think this will be our 30th episode.
Something or other. Yeah.
And that's
over half a year. Yeah. So I'm definitely in this for the long haul kind of thing. I love doing this. I know we don't talk about anything of, like, really anything substantial, but sometimes it's nice to just kind of get away and just shoot the shit kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I do love that. But, and I would love to have this expand a little bit more just to kind of, maybe eventually get to a place where we can talk with people.
Yeah.
And make something a little bit bigger out of it rather than us just, like, talking at each other. But that's what I was thinking. I was like, we got to put something on YouTube. We don't film these, which is, like, the easiest route to go, but we don't film them. So it's like, well, let's just do, like I said, if you just send me a bunch of pictures, then I could kind of clip together kind of back and forth, and then maybe add some, who knows what else to make it a little bit more interesting. But just so we have something to put out there in another platform.
Yeah. And I want to get our full episodes on YouTube either way, just for people that, like, they don't have a listening app or just a YouTube person.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get them on there.
Yeah. So I'm going to experiment a little bit with that. I am the laziest human being on the planet, though.
Same.
So sitting down and editing together a video like that, because our episodes are like an hour and a half almost. So to clip together even just that is going to be a lot. So I'll experiment with it. We'll see. And then, like you said, we have like 30 episodes that I'd have to catch up on anyway. That's kind of a lot.
If anybody wants to volunteer their hours,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But, and I've been really busy with work, so we'll see. Between that and then me and my crochet addiction at the moment, between work, crocheting, and reading, we're pushing it as far as free time.
We got no time.
I've got no time. But I'll rearrange some things. But yeah, that's just my current thought. So if you want to send me any pictures, then I'd have to go through my pictures also and find
Just like funny pictures of me.
Just anything. Anything you want to post, any memories, any fun things, just that you're willing to have out there online.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
I wish there was just an app that would just do it for us.
Right.
Everything costs money.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do think Spotify, there's an option to make a transcript. I think.
Yeah.
I have to explore that.
We shall see. We'll figure it out.
When does this come out?
When this comes out?
Mm-hmm.
What's the week after?
Is it New Year's yet?
So the last episode come out, yes, the 27th. And this episode, we're recording right now, is coming out on the 3rd.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, folks.
What's your resolution? Listen to more Mayan's Attic. Let's get away from that.
That's it. Do you have resolutions? Do you make resolutions?
Yeah, I've been a vegetarian for the whole year.
Okay, what about a new one?
Oh, I'm thinking... I don't know. This has been the only time that I've ever actually done one and kept it.
Well, good.
Someone may have fed me animal product without my knowledge. Someone's making a really crazy face right now because someone who's in the room with me knows they did that. I'm just kidding. I don't care at all. I don't care at all. I don't care at all. I'm just kidding. I just think it's funny.
Okay.
No, it's totally okay, and I totally think it's funny, and I don't care at all.
I'm
And
so
it's
sorry.
probably not the only time it's happened, and I don't care.
It was cream of chicken soup, folks, in the potatoes that I make. But it doesn't comprehend as meat to me.
No, it doesn't for me either. So it's totally okay, and I don't care. I pinky promise.
Okay. Well, screw you for throwing that in my face then.
I just think it's funny.
Yeah, totally my bad on that one. What was I just gonna say? Oh, that's it. I don't make resolutions because why would I want to start off my year on a failure? Guaranteed, I do not keep my resolutions. So let's just not start on a failure. And then also, people are like, "Oh, new year, new me." Nope. I can tell you right now, I don't care what day of the year it is. Same old me. Nah.
Yeah,
you're getting me no matter what.
Till New Year's to start something. If you want to start something, start it now.
Yeah, no, same old me. I ain't I'm not changing anything.
I also think it's not reasonable to think that you're gonna change because of one special day of the year. I think you should make small changes throughout to kind of get to a goal of that change.
There are certain times when there is like a catalyst that something happens and like, okay, this is the moment for change. And I will tell you, I finally had that moment as far as my weight goes because it was my buddy's wedding. I went down to Ohio for it. And
when was this?
This was just back in October.
Okay.
And dude, I took hands down the worst picture of my entire life.
This makes me so sad, dude.
It was horrendous. It was just disgusting. And I was at my absolute heaviest weight I've ever been, and the picture was just obscene. And it was my catalyst. Like, okay, I'm done. And I actually...
That makes me so sad.
And I actually am starting to I've actually lost, like, I think 12-ish pounds That's since
Good.
October, but like,
Congratulations. But
thanks,
that makes me
man.
so sad.
No, I'm glad it finally happened because I've been needing something to kind of push me because I'm just, like I said, I'm like the laziest human being on the planet. But the problem is your weight is, majority of it is like 80% of it is your diet.
Yeah.
And my diet was just shit. It was just garbage, you know? And so I'm making the change and it's working. So I feel good about it.
That's good.
But yeah, not the new year. That's not a thing that I do. So yeah. Why would I start my new year on a failure?
That's so funny. I don't think I have a resolution for this year.
No.
No.
Do you want one or just...
Well, I feel so good about the one I had last year because it actually was so successful. So I'm like, what could I do? Well, I don't know.
Don't do it just to do it. Make it actually be something that...
Yeah. But I should just try to do something like journal every day or something like that. That'd be cool.
See, that puts pressure on me. Because then if I have nothing to say, then I'm just like, oh, I have to journal. So I'm like, da-da-da-da-da.
I have a cousin who's journaled every single day for like, I think 10 plus years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I told my cousin Danny, I was like, if you ever see me journaling, you know it's bad. Get help, because it's bad. I only journal when I'm
Me too.
talking myself off the ledge. So if you ever see me journaling, folks, I am not well.
Yeah. I just want to start like documenting, even though I don't do anything.
You know what, actually, to find... Okay, so technically, last week's episode, I read the little snippet, you know, what is it called? The night before Xmas.
The night before Xmas.
That I got out of this binder that I have of just keepsakes. What I want to start doing more is find the sentimentality in just simple things.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a chest full of my keepsakes. It's my keepsake chest. And it's literally just, I mean, I have movie tickets and brochures from things. I have a map of Florida when me and my friends went down there. Just little things like mementos from different moments of your life. It can be just the simplest little thing. Like I said, I have pages upon pages of movie ticket stubs. And while I have stopped going to the movies all that often, and then if I do go to the movies, I don't keep the tickets because I don't think about it anymore.
Right.
But just like finding the sentimentality in the beauty and the mundane almost thing. So I have an entire chest full of just like random things that are really kind of special to me. So I want to start getting back into that, into collecting the little moments, I guess, to be able to go through later on. And then that is something that I've always been intrigued with, you know, not that I'm going to have kids or maybe, you know, I can pass it on to family or whatever. But have things, because nobody keeps anything anymore. There's no more like the family china.
Yeah.
Which I think is stupid because it's just like, what are you doing? But like things like this, it's just like the moments in your life. Because the things with the dates on them, they're going to be like, wow, this is from, you know, when I was born. I was born in 1995. So anything from when I was little, it's going to have the 1900s on it. So that's going to be fascinating to anybody in my family that's born later.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be so cool to them. And it's a movie ticket.
Yeah.
Like, to see what was in the theaters, what she went to go, what she did in her daily life. I think that'd be amazing. I wish I had stuff like that from my grandma. And that's why I told my grandma when she was like, what do you want? What do you want? I'm like, I don't want your junk. I want the pictures. I want the letters. I want the mementos. Like, that's what I want. And so that's what I want to start doing. I want to start collecting a little bit of my history and the more sentimentality things, just the mundane.
That's cool.
And then to be able to pass that big old chest onto my family. And they'll be able to look back into the past and see what's going on.
I like that.
So I think that's it's not a resolution, but it's like, let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
So there's an idea, folks.
I have a bunch of stuff, but I want to like organize it or put it into like a scrapbook or something. Make like something cute out of it because I just have a bunch of like random little memories.
Yep. I've got, like I said, I got the binder full of all the papers and the pictures and the movie stubs. And I have this one piece of paper. I love it. So when I was living in Ohio, I had friends here in New York. And was going through a bit of a rough patch, and my friend Elizabeth knew that, and she sent me a letter, really nice heartfelt letter, and with it was just a piece of paper where she wrote the word hug, and like all these like little, she sent me a hug. And so that's another thing that I have in like a sleeve and everything. That's something that I kept, and just little cards and letters and stuff like that. And then I have a box. It was it's straight out of the 90s. It was like that felt, the fur covered box. You know what I'm talking about? It's like your little memento box. It's covered in fur.
Why is there fur?
Just because that's the design on it. That was the
Okay.
It's purple fur. Basically, it's purple fur. And then across the top is in hot pink writing. It says "Wild Child" with like little angel wings or whatever. Straight out of the 90s or like early 2000s or something like that. And that box is just full of, you know, like a bracelet I got from this, and then my Letterman jacket, my letters that I never actually put on a Letterman jacket. It's just the letters themselves. It's that got those and the pins and everything from when I was in high school. It's got my cords from when I graduated. It's all got all like the stuff, you know, just stuff like that. Now I when I brought the chest out to get that letter from the last episode, I was just going through. I was like, man, I need to sit down and go through all of this and just have like have a reminiscing moment.
I love it.
I love that. So we're gonna do that.
You should bring stuff in and we can talk about it.
I have like a show and tell, except just a tell and tell. A talk and tell.
Yeah. A tell and discuss.
We'll post the pictures on Instagram,
share
folks.
and tell.
The Instagram is going to become more active. That's another thing I'm going to be pretty determined about, getting our Instagram more active.
Cool.
So let's do that.
Let's.
It's going to be random stuff. It ain't going to be anything good, but just to make it a little bit more active. Get some more of the visual effects along with the audio here. You're making a face like, no, you don't want to.
It's something that needs to be done. It's just, I don't know. It's going to be a pain in the butt.
I don't mind the Instagram part of it. But the problem is I don't think, you know, what's interesting to me, it's not going to be interesting to everybody else. You know? That's another thing I was thinking. Okay, so like I said, the Shits and Gigs podcast, like I said, I really love their voices. Not a huge fan of their content. Just because they talk shit on women and relationships and just bro shit, whatever. And they talk about sex literally every moment of every episode. And I'm like, that's literally nothing I'm interested in at all. But I just really like their voices.
That's so interesting.
But they were talking about how men will find a woman interesting because they're attracted to them.
Yeah.
And then the moment they sleep with them, they're not interested anymore. And I'm like, this is why I have, like, this is yet another reason why I have no interest in being with men. Because, like,
men are kind of scary. Yeah.
And the problem is, I'm like, women are interesting. Well, I shouldn't say women. Humans are interesting when you find the connection with those people. Like I just said, the things that I find interesting are not going to be the same thing as other people find interesting. So I have to find the people who find the similar things that I find interesting so that we can connect on that. You know? So everybody is interesting. It's just a particular kind of interesting. So I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that, and I was like, man, these guys are really harsh. But I will say, their accents and everything make me actually kill me. Not a huge fan of the fact that they're judging women and whatever, but one of them was just like, yeah, this woman, she was grotesque.
Grotesque.
It had me cracking up.
That's a
grotesque.
good one.
I was like, that's hilarious.
But then
very rude.
Decrepit.
Oh my god, decrepit.
Those are good words.
I love it.
Grotesque.
Oh my god, when he said that, like, this chick was grotesque. And they use the word buff. Oh. She was buff, bruv. Buff. And, like, I guess, like, really attractive or just, like, banging hot kind of thing. She was buff.
I hear people, like, they say fit. Like, oh, she was fit to mean, like, she was attractive, I think.
They've used that a couple times, but buff is definitely the big one they use. They use bruv all the time. Bruv. Their accents are so thick, and I love it. And what else do they use? They use buff.
Bruv.
There's a couple things that they say. Oh, gassed. Yeah. To be excited about something, they use gas. I was gassed, man.
Oh, gassed.
And then if they're upset or stressed out about
I
something,
thought
they
you
were
meant like
vexed.
gassed, like ghastly. Like,
oh, like with a T, like ghastly.
Yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
no,
Like
gassed.
gassed.
Like
Okay.
gassed up kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was gassed, bruv.
Bruv.
And they also use the word vexed. Love that.
Hmm.
So, listen, folks, I'm listening to this podcast. I tend to pick up other people's vernacular.
Mm-hmm.
And if that starts happening, just know it's from the Shits and Gigs guys. And I just love their accents and everything. I love their vernacular. Bruv. But yeah, gassed and vexed. I love that. I just love
I've never
it.
heard buff.
Buff, bruv.
Like, I did not
She
think
was
it was going
buff.
to be a positive adjective.
When the first time that he used it, I mean, you could tell he was talking about a really attractive woman, and he said that she was buff, and I'm like,
Right.
that means something different here.
I think, like, oh, she's big and muscly.
Yeah.
And I thought that they would have thought that that was a negative thing.
Yeah. But no,
But it's not.
it's not.
Interesting.
So
She's
yeah.
buff.
It's just very interesting. I don't know. I love it. And
That's so funny.
I do. I loved gassed and vexed.
Gassed.
So I was gassed, bruv.
Bruv.
But anyway, I don't know. I was just thinking about that. Oh, another thing real quick before we get, because like, we want to hype up our podcast, not theirs, but whatever.
Hyping up our podcast on our own podcast.
Yeah.
So if you're already listening, then I guess
We won.
you're gonna listen more.
I don't know. Listen real hard.
Listen harder.
But no, they were talking about they're really big into anime, and I forget who it was. It was James and Fuhad. I don't know who said who, but they were like, out of all the anime that you watch, what is the anime world that you would want to live in?
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy, he was just like, well, as soon as he said this, I was gassed, bruv. He was like, well, it's not technically anime, and I'm like, oh, here we go, yes. He said Avatar.
Yes.
He said Avatar. I was gassed,
I knew you
bruv.
were gonna say that when you said.
He said that. I was like, and they watch anime like crazy. They watch all the anime. And for him to say Avatar, I'm like, hell yeah, you got your priorities straight. Oh, I love it. So anyway, that just made my day. And it's so true. And he even said, he was just like, I wouldn't even care about being the Avatar. I would just, if I woke up one day and I was like an earthbender, gassed, bruv.
I'd be gassed.
Gassed.
I'd be gassed.
Anyway, moving on. Okay.
That's
Just
so
that's
buff.
the new, that's so buff.
That's buff, bro. Bro.
That's my week. That's what I got into. Yeah.
I watched a docu-series.
Ooh. On what? I lost my bear. Nope, I found him. Okay.
Oh, God. I
found
so
my pocket bear.
scared
Okay.
for you.
You watched a docuseries.
It was on a cult.
Oh.
It was so good. You have to watch it
Okay.
if you're interested in this kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So, maybe you've heard about it. I saw a bunch of clips from the docuseries on TikTok, and so I was like, I have to watch this. But I had to watch it because it was a cult that I already knew about. Because, okay.
I'm really worried my echo was on.
Oh, I'm also very worried now. Was it on?
I don't think so, but I'm paranoid.
I'm paranoid too. I'm so mad. It's okay. It's buff.
Sorry, folks. It's buff.
It's buff.
Okay, anyway. Call yes.
So it's this woman who, like, basically got together this group of people, and she told them that she is God, and whoever she's dating is, like, Father God, and how she's, like, the creator of all the things. Basically a bunch of people who are, like, on a bunch of drugs, and they believe everything she says. I knew about this cult because her mom and sister had brought her on to Dr. Phil. And Dr. Phil tried to, like, talk some sense in her a few years ago. Well, anyway, she ended up passing away in 2021. And so now there's this docuseries. And it was so crazy because the whole thing was very thoroughly documented by the people in the cult. So the whole thing, the whole docuseries, is real clips, like happening in real time from their perspectives, from their iPhones, and they had brought in people from the cult to interview them. So they're interviewing them in front of a camera, and then you're seeing it happening in real time from their phones, like when it happened, and they're like telling the whole story of it. So, oh my god, it was crazy.
It sounds so weird to me though, because I guess in my head I have like a very 90s feel to it, like a very grainy look to it. In my head when I think like James Jones. Is that his name? Drinking the Kool-Aid?
Mm-hmm.
Jonestown thing? You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Kind of.
And in my head, it's very, like, 90s grainy kind of thing. And so to the thought of having footage, like, it's HD footage from iPhones, it's a modern day issue.
Yes. It's so weird.
Wow.
It was very, like, hippie, a lot of, like, crystals, a lot of chakra things, like that kind of
Don't say
vibes.
that, because that's actually...
No, but that's the vibes. Like, if you want to, like, picture the vibe of the cult that they gave off, it's those kinds of vibes.
Okay.
Like the geometric patterns and all that kind of, like, psychedelic stuff.
Okay.
That's the vibe. And they do... Well, it's still going on. So, I'm gonna, like, kind of spoil it, but I already kind of knew all of this, and you can watch the docuseries if you want to. But, so it was interesting because they interviewed each of the members, and they had all, when they joined, had kind of just come out of something. They were searching for something because
they were in vulnerable positions.
Exactly. Like one guy, his dad had just died, you know, someone had just broken up with someone lost, you know, family member, lost their job. They were looking for something.
Yeah.
And they ended up here.
Where is this located?
They move around a lot. I think it was in Colorado that I don't remember.
Is it like a nomadic? Like,
they moved around a bunch.
Huh.
But it's still going on. So it was this woman, it was so sad because, like, they were showing pictures of her when she was a baby and her mom was interviewing and, like, you know, she grew up so normal, and then, like, she ended up doing drugs, and then she ended up on this whole journey of finding religion, and then now she thinks that she's God, and she's recruiting all these people to come live with her and take care of her, and they would do, I think, like, daily or 24/7 live streams on Facebook. And so, like, again, like, it's very well documented because they had all the clips from the Facebook Lives and stuff, and people were donating money, people were buying their, like, products or whatever that they were selling, like crystals and lotions and healing stuff and healing sessions and stuff. And she told the members that they were, like, transitioning from being human, and so they needed to stop eating and sleeping, so they were, like, weaning themselves off of sleeping and eating, plus they were doing, like, a bunch of drugs all the time. So, like, not that I can see how it would happen, but, like, because I'm like, how did they fall for this? But I'm like, oh, they weren't sleeping, they weren't eating, and they're on drugs all the time.
They're very...
Yes.
Yeah, very easy to persuade and manipulate.
She was, like, a heavy alcoholic, and she's
impressionable. That's the word.
Impressionable.
Yeah.
And she's starving herself. Oh, and she has this whole thing of, like, there's this... What was the word? She basically has this, like, a galactic team of, like, all of these celebrities who have passed away that are kind of mentoring her. And Robin Williams is, like, the biggest one, which disturbs me a lot.
Let's not throw him into the mix. Thank you.
Let's
leave him in peace.
Well, it's because the things, like, that happened, like, in his name, they'll be like, oh, Robin says that we can't eat today. Robin says we can't have heat today.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? And so she said that Robin Williams was going to come down in a spaceship and take her body away, and so she needed to be, like, 103 pounds, I think. Which, yeah. So she's not eating. She's an alcoholic. And then, do you know, colloidal silver?
Yeah.
She was chugging...
Oh my god.
Bottles. I think I said, like, 1 liter a day of colloidal silver. So she was blue. Like, you know how your skin turns blue? She was literally blue. And they were like, she's dying, but this is the plan. Robin's gonna take her up, and this is all part. And she even like had moments of where she started to spin out and was like, "What if I made this all up and it's not real?"
Like,
You need to take
moments
me to
of
a
lucidity
hospital.
enough to.
And they were like, she had convinced them, so then they began to convince her. It was like a loop of like,
Dude, that's some Fight Club shit right there.
she would spin out and be like, "Wait, what if I made this all up? No, I'm dying. I need to go to hospital." And they're like, "No, you're God. Like, you got this. Like, this is all part of the plan." And so she died,
Yeah, oh my god.
and they were like, "This is it. This is part of it. This is how it was gonna go."
I mean, that's when you feed delusions like that.
Mhm.
That's.
But it was so sad because they like some of the people in it are so they're still in it and they're so young.
I mean, that's so scary because like. I know
Sorry.
we literally just talked about how I'm in it for the long haul, and I'm about to say something that is 100% going to get us canceled, or get me canceled.
I'll be canceled with you. Let's go.
Bring it on, folks. Bring on the cancellation. Anyway, we live in a society nowadays where we are feeding delusions, and it is societally deemed you have to. Rather than asking, okay, well, why do you think this? Why are you feeling like this? It's just like, oh, you do? Okay, we'll feed it completely. We'll absolutely go along with everything you're saying. Absolutely. I'm sorry, but no. No. When you feed delusions like that, you are not helping the person. You are actively pushing them towards something that they cannot come back from. And that can go in, put it in context of whatever you think. Yes, we are a society that is fueling delusions. There is right and wrong, and I'll say it. There is no my truth, your truth. There is the truth, and there is falsehood. And it reminds me of that illustration of two men standing around what looks like a 6 or a 9. And the original caption of it was like, no, it's a 9. No, it's a 6. Both are correct. No, you're not. One of you is wrong. You have to look at your surroundings. You have to take in the context of what's going on around you to figure out what it actually is. Mm-hmm. It might look like a 6 to you, but if you look left and right, you'll see a bunch of other numbers, and you can align yourself in that direction. You can figure it out by looking around you. There is context clues that you need to actually figure out what is right and wrong. There is right and there is wrong. Yes, we live in a society where there are gray areas of things, but when it comes to the fundamental foundations of our beings and how we live our lives, there is right and wrong. And unfortunately, we have strayed away from that, and we've gotten to a point where it's just like, nope, everybody's right in their own way, and we have to feed everybody in the right way. And if you accidentally step on toes, then you're wrong. You're deemed irredeemable. And it is insanity. We are living in the most insane times I've ever experienced. And why would anyone want to bring children into this? And that's why the population is... Why would anybody want to bring a child into this absolute asinine, insane world? Because we are actively feeding delusions. And if you are someone who is feeding someone else's delusions, you are not helping them. Mm-hmm. And I will say, I'm a firm believer, you are not helping them. You are actively hurting them. This is not an act of love. You might think you're supporting them and loving them. You are harming them. It is abusive what you are doing if you are feeding these delusions. You have to get to the root of why somebody is doing something, what it's stemming from, what their end goal is. Because oftentimes when you're feeding someone's delusion, it's because it's stemming from something else that they need help with, mm-hmm. that has a solution. But you're not getting to the solution because you're feeding the delusion of something else, like a symptom of something else. Mm-hmm. And I hope that all made sense, because like it's such a problem, and it's not okay. So yeah, if someone comes to you out of the blue and says this, that, or the other that is not in line with how they've always been, or how the rest of society, yes, because like everyone is individualistic, everyone can be unique, but there are societal taboos and everything that you still have to follow to get by in life. You still have to follow the societal taboos and there's just the social norms. You have to do it. And if you don't, make your own society, make your own little cult, and guess what? It is not good. It's not going to end up good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, hate me all you want, but that's just, it's the fundamental truth. We are human beings. We are societal creatures. We have to have society to thrive. And if you are actively drawing yourself out of what society is, you are now an island, and you are going to be miserable. And if somebody is living on your island with you, you will all starve on your island.
Mm-hmm.
So, there you go. There's my rant. Happy New Year, folks! What a way to start off the new year. Everyone's insane. Anyway, canceled. How do you like that? That lasted long.
Why would you be canceled for that?
Because I'm not willing to feed people's delusions, and that's what you have to do in nowadays society. And I'm not willing to do it.
I think you're right.
So, I don't know. It's a little bit scary. I feel bad for parents who have to raise their kids in this kind of society where everything you do is watched and judged and just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you do, you're wrong. In some fashion or another, you're wrong. So, I don't know. That kind of sounds hypocritical because I'm just like, I don't know. Like I said, I literally just got done saying there is right and there is wrong. But because everybody has such differing views, there is no more right and wrong. There's only just, oh, you're not doing it my way, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And because not everybody's going to do it the exact same way means everybody's wrong.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. Existing right now is exhausting. So get it together, folks. And that's how it goes back to that episode. I'm sorry, I'm totally commandeering this episode.
Do it.
Sorry. We talked about it a little bit on chaotic energy. And I said it, I can remember myself saying it, just repetitively saying it. You have to be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And most people aren't. I do it all the time. And I don't know why. But if I don't, it's not even anything embarrassing. I will lie about why I did or did not do something. And nothing's wrong with why I did or did not do it. It's just, for some reason, I don't want to disclose exactly why or how I felt about something. And the example that just recently happened was, it's so stupid. When I went down for Christmas, we were doing a family party. And my mom sent out like a mass text to my family about that we were doing like a white elephant thing. It needs to be like a homemade $5 to $10, nothing fancy. She never texted me about it. My brother, however, screenshotted this text that he got from my mom about this. Mm-hmm. And then it was more of a joke because at the end of the text that she sent out to everyone but me, it said, Danielle's going to be here to celebrate with us, so we're all excited, blah, blah, blah. AJ replied back and was just like, you had me until Danielle. I was like, rude. I was responding to him because the whole point was he was joking and everything. I was like, that was rude. But then later, I just talked to my mom and I told her, I was like, well, you never sent me the text message, so I didn't know that there was a white elephant thing coming. Mm-hmm. I did, though. Mm. Why did I lie about that? It is such a weird thing to my mind. And I think it's probably because, like, half of me doesn't actually want to figure out something because I'm a selfish piece of crap. I don't want to figure out anything for this white elephant. So I pretend like I didn't see the message in time.
Maybe, yeah.
But I did see the message in time, and my mom knows I've seen the message because I talked to her about the fact that I saw the message. But when I talked to her about the fact that I saw the message, I said, oh, I didn't really read through it thoroughly enough, and then I had to go back and I had to look at it again. Why am I lying?
I think you just don't want to do the white elephant.
But, like, I do it with so many things like that. I'm like, I end up telling the truth, but I lie about how I got to the truth.
Yeah.
Why do I do that? It's so weird. And it's not anything of consequence. It might just be
like a societal, like, shortcut. Because we can't just be honest with each other and say, I don't want to do the white elephant. So you have to have, like, a roundabout way of
kind of showing your distaste
you're not gonna do
for it, something. I do it with so many different things. And again, it's not like I'm lying and it's like a consequential thing. It's usually it's because I'm actively telling the truth, but I'm lying about how I got there. So it's just a very weird thing to me. But I remember talking about on Chaotic Energy that you have to be honest with yourself, and nobody wants to do that anymore. But the scary part about it is, like I said, the things that I like white lie about are just really inconsequential, just nonsense. Or at least I hope so. I hope they're not of any consequence to other people. But like, when we're living in a society where people are actively changing the very foundations of how they live their life and how they move about through life and how they interact with other people, and they're lying about why that is, they're lying to themselves. They're trying to convince themselves like, no, it's because of this, or it's because I want to do this. No, you are lying to yourself. You're maybe just not happy. Maybe you're thinking something else and you're using this as an excuse. This, that, or the other. And this again can apply to whatever it may be. But I don't know. I think it's insane that we are actively changing how our society functions based on lies. And then that also goes to the fact that we are shaping our interactions with people based off of the lies we see on social media and the news. We are not getting the full story. We are getting a very specifically curated narrative to fit some agenda of who knows who, and we're not getting the full story, and we're just going about our lives as like, okay, that's gospel truth. We're not even taking 2 seconds to think, that does not add up, or that does not make sense, that does not, it's not fitting the vibes, folks. Like, we don't question anything anymore, and that's really scary.
Yeah.
And we're not being honest with ourselves. That's very dangerous. Because again, when we lie to ourselves about why we're doing something, then that affects how we interact with other people and what we tell them. And then because we are in a very, okay, you're right, I'll follow along with that, and give in mentality of our society, then people are just going to live their life towards you based off of the lie you told them. And that goes back to what you said about living authentically. You want to live your authentic self, right? Nobody does that anymore. It doesn't seem like that.
No.
And I'm definitely like, I'm part of it too. Like I have to edit myself. Because, which is probably a good thing, because if I lived my true self, I'd be a bitch to everybody all the time. So, you know what? Maybe in some folks, maybe in some foundations, maybe we should definitely, fill in the cracks here and there. But like, do you know what I mean? Am I just rambling at this point?
No.
I'm talking in circles.
I know what you mean.
But yeah. Honestly, I'm getting better about that with like my mom. Because I don't want to go. Folks, we're doing like a double whammy thing. It's before Christmas when we're filming this episode, even though this is coming out after New Year's. But I have to go down to Ohio for our Christmas thing, and I think I talked about it 2 episodes something ago about how I have to put on a mask. I have to pretend. Because if I didn't pretend, it would end up hurting people's feelings, because the way I function in society, or the way I would want to function in society to be my true self, does not fit with the societal standards of how my family functions.
Yeah.
I'm a sit back, listen, no expression, no words. I'm just existing, and I'm having a great time. My fun comes from watching other people have fun.
Yeah, we talked about this last episode too.
I will be completely dead-faced. I will look miserable. I will look like I'm probably hating on everybody. I'm having a great time. But that's not acceptable. So I have to laugh, and I have to smile, and I have to exhaust myself physically to meet the standards of what people expect this fun time to be.
Totally.
And I don't want to do that.
Yep.
Just let me sit here, have my miserable face, let me enjoy myself that way. Ignore me if you have to. That's fine. Let me live my life. But I can't do that. And the last time I did, because it was last Christmas when we went to Florida, I was with my family for 5 straight days. As someone who lives by themselves and loves their solitude, being with my high energy family for 5 days straight drained me. By day 3, I was done. Yeah. I was not nice about it either. So I didn't have any energy left to fake it. So I was very quiet. I was very deadpan, like, you know, no emotion, no expression or anything. I was tired. And my dad, why are you being so quiet? Why are you being awkward? You're making everything weird. You're making everything weird. I'm like, then let me go home. Redo my ticket. Let me go home right now. If I'm ruining your time, if you cannot understand that this is what I'm doing to make myself function properly, if you can't understand that, then I will leave. I don't need to be here. My presence is obviously not wanted here, so I will leave, and that's fine. But if people just let me be, then we'd have a good time. We'd have a great time. If you just let me be and put my energy where I want to allot my energy, then I could have a great time for a longer time. But again, it's not what people expect.
The, like, social standards are so rigid.
Mm-hmm. Elaborate.
Just like
you can't just say that in the
needing
soft.
to make facial expressions and like the way you can tell someone is actively listening and stuff. Like, I don't have the energy to like upkeep it all the time.
Mm-hmm. And then do everything else that you have to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's why, again, we talked about it. That's why small talk is horrendous to me. Because it does not feed my energy in any capacity. And it just saps me of the energy because then I have to think about, I have to jump through hoops to think about how to keep this conversation rolling. And it's not even a conversation. It's not something that, you know, when I want to talk about something interesting, that feeds my energy. That I can go on and on. As everybody knows, when I get on a rant about something that I'm interested in, I can go on and on. Because it feeds my energy. Yeah. Rather than it being mundane and boring and just draining. So. And unfortunately, when it comes to Christmas and you have a ton of people, that's why I like smaller gatherings.
Yeah.
Because when you have a ton of people, you can't get into the good, deep conversations that you can with one or two people.
Yeah.
It's always going to be more superficial. And so that's when I have to sit back and just let people be. But then I can't because then I'm just like, I'm that weird, like, reaper in the corner, draining it, like, being weird. Like, you know what I mean?
It feels like putting on that face feels like almost being like a one-man band or something. Like, I feel like I'm having, like, there's a little me inside of my head that's having to orchestrate all of the things at the same time. Like, there's this arm that is nodding my head, but this one also has to hold up the smile, and this one has to remember to blink, and this one has to respond. And, like, my foot is, like, sitting upright and not slap. Like, I can't upkeep all of the elements at the same time and still respond. Like, it's like one is always lacking, or a few are always lacking, or after a bit of time, like, I don't have energy for any of it. And so, yeah, I totally get it.
Yep.
And it's like, why are we doing that to ourselves? Why do we do that?
Yeah. Well, that's why I've gotten better about telling my mom, this is what I need right now. This is why I'm like this. If you know, because I've said it before, she likes to chatter. She likes to fill the void. She doesn't like silence, so she just chatters nonsensically. And she's just more talking at me rather. There's no genuine conversation. And I don't ever want it to hurt my mom's feelings because it's not towards her. It's just, if I'm going to make it through this whole trip, I cannot spend my energy on the nonsensical chatter. You can talk at me all you want. Please do not expect me to respond, to have overly emotional, like, please don't. I'm listening to you. I'm thinking about what you're saying. Don't make me respond. Don't make me use my energy on something that just ultimately does not amount to anything. It doesn't matter. You can fill the silence, you can fill the void all you want. But it doesn't amount to anything. It's not changing my viewpoint on life. It's not, you know, it's not bringing about change in any capacity. It's not making me think about anything. It's not, you know, we're not solving anything. We're not talking about problems and finding solutions or anything. It's not amounting to anything. It's just like, oh, that was a really pretty butterfly, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. What do you want me to say to that? Oh my God, it was so beautiful, Mom. You're so right. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
What do you want me to say? I I'm a world-class bitch. I know that. But I just don't have the energy anymore for it.
No, I get it. It happens a lot to me with, like, being in customer service and, like, small talk, and I never know what to say to these people. Especially because they will let me know that their dad just died, or someone just broke into their house, or they're breaking up with their girlfriend, and so they're moving out, so they need these new keys, and, like...
Yeah.
I'm like... I don't know what to say.
I'm really bad about that because I'm a heartless, cold void of a human being. And again, because my emotions I don't think come across the way other people expect. My sympathy, you've got my sympathy, it's just not coming across.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just recently had a client of mine come in and say that her husband, who had been on hospice for a while, had passed away.
Uh-huh.
And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, she has dealt with all the condolences for how long now?
Yeah.
Probably tired of it.
Yeah.
Same old, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. What, So I literally just said, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And we moved on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to dwell on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that I want to have to put you through that emotion again. If you've already, if you're in your rhythm of dealing with that, I'm not going to bring you back into your own grief.
Yeah.
She was good. We were talking about the treatment that we were going to do that day. That's what we were focused on. I'm a very in the moment. We're here for treatment.
Mm-hmm.
She has obviously settled into her grief enough to be able to function and start doing what she needs to do to recover.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm not going to dwell on the grief again. I'm not going to bring that all back up and have her maybe possibly backtrack. I bounce off of other people more. I always tell, in massage, I always let the client lead because some people don't want to talk. Some people do. So I will let them lead the conversation. I won't open a conversation unless they do. I will continue a conversation if they continue it. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And so when I see this woman who obviously lost her husband, obviously that's a horrible thing, but I see that she's doing well, I'm going to react, you're doing well.
Feed off of her.
I'm going to feed off of your energy. I'm not going to bounce that off in any other direction. And that's why I can end up having some really amazing conversations with my clients. Because what they want to talk about is something that they're interested in, hopefully. And especially if a client kind of starts to feel like they need to make small talk, I'll answer them, but I'll keep it short.
Right.
Because this isn't something that feeds any energy. This is not, small talk does not.
Reciprocating.
Yeah. So I'll answer to be obviously, not ignoring them, but it's not helping anything. So I'm not going to feed into the small talk. If you want to continue doing small talk, you are going to be the one leading that.
Right.
But if someone wants to get into a really good conversation, I will absolutely, we'll play off of each other. We'll keep it going. Let's hype this up. I have some amazing conversations with my clients, and I've become pretty good friends with my clients because of the opportunity that the atmosphere has given to lead to incredible in-depth conversations. Mm-hmm. I've come to some great realizations in the middle of a massage. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, I want the atmosphere to be set up for really good, juicy conversations. One that you're going to walk away from feeling good about. Yeah. Or something that's going to make you ponder something. I like conversations that you take with you. Anything other than that, please don't expect me to allot too much energy towards. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Happy New Year!
Stop saying that. Welcome back to my attack.
Oh, my Lord. That got heavy.
That was good.
So how's your day?
Oh, my God. I feel bad because, like, obviously when people... the small talk that I have with customers, like, there's like a time limit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't have the time to get into it. So I have an hour and a half.
Yeah. So when people drop a bomb of information on me, it's like, what can I say in 2 seconds that can make this go away quickly? Because I gotta ask them if they have a rewards card and then they gotta go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a hard transition between... Some lady the other day, she was like, oh, you know, someone broke into my car last night, so I'm buying this, like, plastic, you know, whatever, and duct tape to put across it for the meantime. And
oh, I'm so sorry about that. You have your rewards card?
I
so
don't
awful.
know what to say.
Yeah.
And so, it was funny. I'm, like, almost experimenting with, like, being a human at work. Because I'm like, maybe she didn't say that it was broken into yet, but she said that her windshield, I think, was smashed or something. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was driving through construction zone the other day and I broke my windshield. It was such a pain in the butt, whatever. Like, I'm trying to, like, be the small talk person.
Yeah.
But then she's like, no, it was my back windshield, or my back window. And I was like,
it's like, oh, small talk, bitch you in the butt.
She's like, yeah, someone broke into it. I'm just like, why do I bother? Why?
Yeah.
Anyway, you got a phone number with us, lady?
Well, I also, people definitely have their rhythm in conversation. I, unfortunately, and I'm doing it literally right now, I'm one of those people that uses my own personal experiences to add to the conversation.
Same.
I'm not ignoring what you said and trying to bring it back to me. I'm trying to relate.
Yeah.
By giving you something that I've experienced as well. I'm not trying to keep you from talking about your stories. I'm not trying to make you think that I don't care about what you said. It's just like, oh, no, I understand that because of this.
That's something I'm trying to, like, wean off of, though. Because I'm trying to, like, be more of, like, a question asker and be, like, more interested in whatever they just said rather than, like, in my head being like, oh, what am I going to say that's the same to the same degree? Like, I'm trying to step away from that, even though it's hard because...
But see, that's what I said. Like, some people have their conversation routines, and, like, I think we're both the same. Like, we chip in with our own stories to show relativity. Whereas I know one of my clients, she was very intrigued with some of the things I had been talking about, and she kept asking me questions. She's like, I'm so sorry, I don't mean to grill you. This is just really interesting. And I'm like, no, that's fine.
I love it.
Go ahead. I'm a very open book. Go ahead. But my thing is, because of the way my brain works and how I'm relating to things, is that if I want to talk about something, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to talk about it. I'm just going to pour it out because that's something I want to talk about. That's something I want to, have out there. And so that's how my brain works. And therefore, I think that everyone's brain works like that. And therefore, I don't ask questions because I'm thinking to myself, if you want to talk about something, you're just going to go ahead and talk about it. Bring it on. But that's not how other people work. And so that's why I have to remind myself, like, okay, maybe they are a question, like, bring it out of them.
Totally.
So I have to remember, okay, ask questions as well if they don't. Because some of my clients, they'll be real quiet. I'll be answering their questions, but they're not saying anything. So I'm like, oh, wait, okay. But then I have to rewire my brain. And that takes a lot of energy. And that's why you have to find people who are similar to you in the type of energy that you give. Because the people who are just pourers are going to get along great because they're just pouring into the conversation both without having to be asked.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of this post that I saw one time forever ago on TikTok. And it was this girl saying that if you're going out on a first date with a guy and he doesn't reciprocate the question, don't answer. Because, and this, I disagree with this, because she was saying that if you ask, like, oh, where would you like to travel someday? And he gives off his answers and he doesn't ask the question back to you. And she was like, well, obviously he's not interested, so don't bother answering. Move on. I'm like, no. This is a get to know you. No, this is not an interview.
He's just like me, and I would just forget to ask back the question.
The question has already been asked. It's opened the door for the conversation. This is when we both start chipping in and just pouring into the conversation that has already been opened. Why is this a back and forth interview? This is a get to know you. This is not an interview for a job. This is learning how to talk with one another and being open and sharing, not just waiting to be having answers ripped out of you. You know what I mean? So I disagreed with that.
Well, yeah, if it was just a back and forth question session, it would be, like, so awkward.
Yeah. Like, this is, you ask a question to open a conversation, and then you go at it. And that's kind of how I've always felt. Like, one question should lead to a full-blown conversation. You shouldn't even have to ask any more questions, honestly. And so that's why I do have a hard time relating to people who aren't pourers like I am. Because my brain is just like, we're just going to pour into it. And if you don't pour something into it, obviously you don't want to talk about that. Right. So maybe I should just leave you be. So I'm not much of a question asker.
I forget to ask people questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if I do ask a question, I'm always just like, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. I'm always like nervous about it,
Yeah.
So, and it's awkward for me to ask questions because I'm thinking, oh my God, what if I'm putting them on the spot and what if I'm pressuring them and then I don't want to? And So I don't.
I always feel like I asked a stupid question.
And again, that's also because, like, I feel like what I'm interested in is not what other people are going to find interesting. So the questions I'm asking are probably going to sound kind of stupid to other people, but I'm like, well, that's what I'm interested in right now. If you want to talk about something different, then give me something different. Like,
Right.
don't make me jump through hoops to find out. Like, I don't know. But again, everyone has their way of going about functioning with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why some people just genuinely get along with other people. Some people don't. And that's fine. I think we talked about how, like, it should be totally fine with just straight up not liking someone. They never did anything to you, no problem with them. You just, nope, I don't like you.
Celebrities
Yeah.
that we don't like for no reason.
I don't like you. You just your vibes, not with me. Nope.
Nope. It's.
Yeah.
I think that's innate. I think it's like biological almost.
Yeah. Well, like calls to like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big believer in that. Let's not force things that shouldn't be forced. So. I got really deep.
That was cool. I feel enlightened, but also a little bit stupid.
Why? Why would you feel stupid?
No, just because like there was a lot of information, and I'm just like, ugh.
Oh, my brain's mush now.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a headache before, and now my eyeballs are about to pop out of my head.
Mushy brain.
Oh my goodness.
Do you want to go to Marshall's?
Dude, I was literally just about to ask. I was like, I have a little bit of time before I have to go to work. I need to run to different things. Yes.
Wait, you were gonna say Marshall's?
I was gonna say I want to go to Michael's. I want to go to Marshall's.
Oh, perfect, right there.
Yeah. And then I also need to stop back at Hobby Lobby. But if you don't want to go there, then we can split ways after Boulevard.
You want to drive separate?
No.
No, you drive, and then if you want to go that way, then drop me off.
Yeah. That's the plan. All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed that.
Happy New Year!
That really
we need
enlightening.
a New Year song.
Isn't there a New Year? What's that? What is it? There is a New Year song. What's it called?
Happy New Year.
No, what's it called? What's it called? It's like weird. What's the New Year song? Oh, I have to look that up. I have to look it up. There's an actual New Year song, and it's a weird word.
Happy New Year to ya. Hope you something new, yeah.
What is it? What is it? What is it? Old Lang Syne. Is that how you say it? Auld Lang Syne? Old Lang.
How does that go?
I don't know. I knew it was some weird something or other.
Hey, thank you for listening. Tell your friends, tell your family. We're available on all listening platforms.
And we will eventually be available on YouTube.
YouTube, more content coming on Instagram and TikTok.
You're better with TikTok than I am, so that I think
Whatever you post on Instagram is gonna go right on TikTok or YouTube.
Okay.
Um,
Thanks for listening, folks. Hope you enjoyed that.
yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Have a wonderful. Well, we'll talk at you next week, but have a wonderful week. Get your New Year's resolutions. Don't be like me. Actually, commit.
Or be like her.
Or be like me.
Be you, and don't feed into delusions.
Yeah, you be you, boo. You be you.
I think that's the moral of this episode is do you. Unless doing you is joining a cult.
Yeah, don't do that. And talk to your homeboys. Talk to your girlfriends. Be honest.
Be honest with people.
What other cheesy things can we wrap this up with? I don't know.
Be you.
Oh, I will say another thing that I actually really agreed with the Shits and Gigs guys.
Mm-hmm.
They said, be vulnerable.
Be vulnerable.
Be vulnerable. Put yourself in a position to be hurt, because the more hurt you end up being, the higher you were, the more amazing your life was, the higher up you were, and the harder you felt. No, just be vulnerable. Live your life and have fun, folks.
You attract what you put out. So
Yeah.
be you and attract people that want to be friends with you.
Be
True.
your authentic self.
Be your
to
authentic self.
Draw authentic people.
Amen.
Brother Ben shot a rooster, killed a hen.
Who?
That's an old family thing we always do. Anyway, talk at you next week, folks.
Talk at you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Brother who? What?
We always used to Amen, Brother Ben. Shot a rooster, killed a hen.
That's cute.